April is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, and we here at the JIS encourage our women to get screened for the disease. That screening involves getting a pap smear, which uncovers abnormalities in the cervix before it develops into cancer. Early detection is one sure way of controlling and possibly beating the disease. For more information, please visit JamaicaCancerSociety.org. Right now, though, we have an information-packed show lined up just for you. It starts with a roundup of today's top news stories.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Monday, April 10. Jamaica has moved up 74 places on the World Economic Forum's Global Energy Architecture Performance Index. The report analyzes countries' transition towards more affordable, secure, and sustainable energy systems. Jamaica's ranking improved from 166 to 92 for 2017, placing it among the 127 countries making significant strides in energy sector performance since 2009. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government plans to keep on that path by doing an analysis of the island's energy demands. This will form part of the energy resource plans, which will give the state a comprehensive roadmap for plotting how much renewable energy can be incorporated into Jamaica's energy mix.
Support our environment. But for our economy to grow, we have to be not just energy sufficient, but energy efficient. And I think that we are making the right steps. We are going in the right direction to get more LNG and more renewables to support our economic growth.
Meanwhile, ground has been broken for the Jamaica Public Service Company's 190-megawatt power plant in Old Harbour, the largest power plant to be constructed in the country. The new plant will replace 292 megawatts of obsolete power generation equipment with new, efficient, natural gas-fired generating capacity. Energy Minister Andrew Wheatley says it moves the country much closer to achieving its goal of 30% of electricity coming from renewable energy sources by the year 2030.
Diversification in our energy sector is critical. It is critical not only for economic development, but more importantly, for energy security.
The JPS facility will cost approximately $330 million, most of which was raised locally. It should be completed in 2019, and 700 jobs are expected to be created from the project. Farmers in Rose Hill, Manchester should experience some alleviation of their water woes following the completion of a $4.5 million water tank rehabilitation project by Wigton Wind Farm Limited. The company recently carried out major restoration work on 5 tanks located across its 1,000-acre wind farm complex, which is also the site of extensive agricultural activity. The tanks were handed over to the Rose Hill farmers during a ceremony at Wigton on Friday.
While drought is a problem no agricultural community ever wants to face, through planning and preparation, we can minimize its impact. Wigton has done its part in providing a solution. I would encourage all of our farmers to make good use of these tanks.
The work, which was carried out between May and December last year, involved the upgrading of catchment areas and the installation of modern piping fixtures to eliminate the need for farmers to dip and pull up buckets. The tanks have been fully fenced and are able to harvest water from rainfall and also serve as receptacles if there is a need to truck water into the area at any point. Total storage capacity is close to 137,000 gallons. The Child Development Agency, CDA, has received a mobile mental health unit from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. The Smile Mobile has been provided under the Transitional Living Program for children in state care. It has been retrofitted with 2 counseling areas, Wi-Fi service, air conditioning, a refrigerator, sink, and cabinets. It will play a significant role in strengthening the CDA's capacity to respond to the needs of youth who have been traumatized by various acts of violence and abuse.
Ultimately, that's what this is about. This is about how can we ensure that our children who are in state care have the best quality service and that we're catering to their needs in the best possible way.
During Friday's handover ceremony at the Alpha Institute, the CDA was also presented with 2 15-seater buses. The mobile mental health unit at one of the buses will serve the parishes of Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, and Manchester. The second bus will serve the parishes of Trelawney, St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover. And finally, the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, FCCA, has hailed Jamaica's success in significantly reducing visitor harassment, saying it augurs well for future relations. President of the FCCA, Michelle Page, says there have been clear signs that guests can move about freely without fear of being followed or badgered. Her comments came after last week's 3-day fact-finding trip to the island by members of the association.
Over the last 3 days, what we've experienced has been nothing less than amazing. The commitment from Jamaica, the people in Jamaica, they want to get to the next level of being a demand destination.
The FCCA is a not-for-profit trade organization with a membership comprising 19 cruise lines, which operate more than 100 vessels between Florida, the Caribbean, and Latin America. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett welcomed the delegation's visit, which he says affirms that government's anti-harassment programs have yielded a positive shift in momentum for Jamaica. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Up next, the latest happenings coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
I am extremely pleased to be here for this long-anticipated groundbreaking for the JPS Old Harbour Bay Power Plant. Today, without equivocation, we apologize for what occurred in Coral Gardens.
And
It is our aim to use the conference to create networks that will redound to the benefit of Jamaica and Jamaicans.
you're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Prime Minister Andrew Holness broke ground Friday for a 190-megawatt power plant at Old Harbour in St. Catherine. The $330 million investment is expected to be completed in the first quarter of 2019. Over 700 persons will be employed during the construction phase. Prime Minister Holness says this project is a show of confidence in Jamaica as it's funded primarily by local investors.
It's not just that the project is good in itself and will generate the economic returns to justify the investment, but it says that there is a general confidence in the economy that investors are now willing to take risks.
Earlier in the week, Mr. Holness issued a formal apology on behalf of government to the Rastafarian community for the unfortunate Coral Gardens incident of 1963.
We express our regret and sorrow for this chapter in our national life that was characterized by brutality, injustice, and repression, which was wrong and should never be repeated.
During his apology in Parliament Tuesday, the Prime Minister announced several concrete steps to make amends. Among them, the creation of a $10 million trust fund for survivors and the establishment of a Rastafari Heritage and Culture Centre on 6 lots at Pinnacle in St. Catherine. When completed, the area will be declared a protected site by the Jamaica National Heritage Trust. The public defender has also been asked to continue her work with the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society to gather more information from survivors.
We will be reshaping the Jamaican Diaspora Foundation and Institute into the Global Connect Jamaica, GLOJAM, which will be a public-private partnership thrust geared towards encouraging the Jamaican diaspora to invest in Jamaica.
That was Prime Minister Andrew Holness reaffirming his commitment to facilitating and deepening the diaspora's involvement in Jamaica's economic and social development. In addition to seeking out investments, GLOJAM will connect Jamaicans in the diaspora, promote brand Jamaica globally, attract investments to the country, and pair up local and international executives to expand business opportunities. Mr. Holness was addressing Tuesday's launch of the 2017 Diaspora Conference. It will be held from July 23 to 26 under the theme Partnering for Growth. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness assured the nation that the Special Cabinet Subcommittee reviewing the new calculations for property taxes would seek to strike the right balance between the concerns of citizens and the needs of the country.
We're doing the necessary reviews just to ensure that we take into consideration, all the views and issues. One thing we can say is that it is never easy. Never easy. But I think we'll get it right.
He was speaking at a National Housing Trust Long Service Awards ceremony. 284 permanent staff who've given 15 years or more to the Housing Trust were recognized at the function. On Wednesday night, Mr. Holness was back at Jamaica House to launch activities to mark the 55th anniversary of Jamaica's independence. He said this year's festivities would focus on legacy projects to include significant investments in infrastructure, gender, public administration, sports, culture, and education.
The value to be gained from them will last for many generations. The chosen projects are strategically aligned to our areas of national priority.
During the festivities, a portrait of Mr. Holness was unveiled. It will be hung at Jamaica House along with those of former Prime Ministers of Jamaica. Mr. Holness also had visitors to the office of the Prime Minister this past week. On Wednesday, he was joined by Ambassador Nigel Clark in a meeting with Christine Hogan, the World Bank's executive director. By Thursday, Prime Minister Holness was holding talks with Professor Anthony Clayton and Cordell Green of the Broadcasting Commission. Thursday also saw Mr. Holness meeting with Scotiabank Jamaica's David Noel. The Prime Minister received his last visit Thursday from a British delegation led by Member of Parliament Dawn Butler. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. We return next time with more of the news coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
No, son. A verb is an action word.
Parents need to become more involved in their children's education.
Parents are the first and in many cases the most important teachers.
Read with your children. Review their schoolwork. Visit their school.
Tapping and rapping and slapping, I said.
Nice! High five! Woo! A good education will never decay.
April is also Autism Awareness Month. This next feature is for persons who have a young child with special needs in their life.
How does it feel to be different from me? Are we the same? How does it feel?
Since 1975, the Early Stimulation Program has been providing assistance to thousands of children with developmental disabilities all across the island, transforming their lives from black and white into living glorious technicolor, providing therapeutic and educational services for children with special needs. To broaden that objective, in 2006, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security expanded the activities of the program to include a Stimulation Plus STIM Plus Early Childhood Development Centre.
We see children with cerebral palsy. We see children with chromosomal disorders such as Down syndrome. We see children with intellectual impairment, learning disabilities. We see children with autism and a number of various conditions.
After its initial assessment, the centre implements feasible programs for those children aged 3 to 6 years to help them overcome their challenges.
We have what we call a parent orientation, that we sit with you and we explain what is happening or what might be happening with your child, and look at a program how we are going to go about assisting this child developmentally. The case is discussed with the home intervention supervisor and other team members.
Counseling sessions and workshops are also organized for the parents and guardians who have a difficulty accepting and dealing with their child's disability. In addition, STIM Plus has daily therapeutic treatment for the children.
We have over 112 children. We have 8 classes, and the children are not necessarily in classes according to their age, but based on their capabilities or their mental age, they are placed into classes.
And so, from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. weekday, the disabled children receive one-on-one attention, specifically tailored to their need to help improve their condition. Just take a look at some of the activities for these children diagnosed with cerebral palsy. They vary, from using a swing to teach balance so that the children will be able to sit and walk properly, to enjoying a ride on the peanut ball.
So she is on the ball and we move her back and forth to strengthen her upper body and get head control. Up, Alicia, up, bring your head up, Alicia, head up, very good, Alicia. Can you feel it, can you feel it, it's rough, it's rough.
Others enjoy tactile stimulation techniques, which uses rough and soft material to stimulate and differentiate between the senses.
So we want to encourage Gabby to do hand-eye coordination stuff, so she'll be able to see the object and pick it up. So go, Gabby. We're also doing it in a sitting position to encourage Gabby to sit down, right? Pretty girl? Take up the block for Auntie. Put your hand around it. Woo! We got one! Nice girl!
There are also activities to help these children with special needs to develop their literacy and numeracy skills.
5 little ducks went swimming one day over the hill and far away. Mama duck said quack, 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 and only 4 little ducks came back.
We use the music to teach the children to count, to teach them to identify the numbers, use their fingers and to interact.
Parents who enrolled their children at STIM Plus, which is operated by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, have seen first-hand improvements in their children with special needs. Melissa's daughter is diagnosed with autism, but things are looking up.
Lots of changes. First things first, I credit them with having my child walk and run and even swing on a swing song by herself. Things that I didn't know that she could do on her own, that she wasn't doing at home.
He's learning more to count, says ABC, as well as he comes, he's doing a little writing, but you find he's not holding the pencil as strong as you want him to, so he doesn't write as perfect as you're expecting him to. But he's trying to do a little more than what he was doing before, so you're seeing improvement.
Shantoy, say ABC for mommy. She was slow with the letters. Now she knows all her letters, she knows colors. She's able to speak her mind freely. Vast improvement.
When the children reach the age of 6 and have made the progress, we do have a graduation for them that parents look forward to. Seeing these children who were so delayed, now going off.
Off to other special education programs or the formal school system, some getting a chance to even do their GSAT, complete high school and university.
These are some of the things that inspire us to go on to help the children. We have children who come here and they're not talking and they leave talking. You know, things like that that inspire us and encourage us to go on.
So if you have a child or know of a child with special needs,
just have faith and work with the child, just as Stimplus would work with them, right? And help them. Don't leave the teacher alone to work with them. Don't rough them. Don't try to, you know, make them feel like them is nobody.
My advice to them is, if you do have a child with disability, Stimulation Plus is the place for them to be.
For more information, contact the Early Stimulation Program, 95 Hanover Street, Kingston, or the Ministry of Labour and Social Security in your parish.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand.
The Office of the Children's Advocate is very aware that we have some parents who get particularly anxious at the start of a new school year. And so we really just wanted to share with you a few tips that you can utilize to help keep your children, especially the very young ones who are going out for the first time, nice and safe from sexual abuse. Parents need to recognize that the private parts, as we call them, or the genitalia, are regular parts of the body. And so in teaching your children about the forehead and the nose and the hand, you can also teach them the names of these body parts, because that does two things. It puts them in a position to speak about these parts when something is going wrong, and it also tells them that even though they're private parts, it's not too private to talk about, particularly with a parent. Children need to know that there should be no secrets between them and their parents or guardians. Oftentimes, when persons want to abuse children, they tend to encourage them to keep a little secret. You know, this is between me and you. But from very early, parents need to establish with their children that the lines of communication are open. Mommy and daddy, or auntie and uncle, or whoever is the responsible adult in that child's life, can actually have a discussion, age appropriate of course, about anything at all that may be troubling the child. The third tip is that parents need to cultivate throughout the child's lifespan that environment whereby the child feels comfortable to speak. Conversation should not be off limit, topics should not be taboo, and you really need to get to a stage whereby you have teachable moments, we call them. So we see a lot of things reported in the newspapers, sometimes on the nightly news, and we can use some of these instances of horrible things that are happening to other children to start little discussions with our own children to give them tips as to how they can avoid or prevent, perhaps completely, any such reality happening to them. For these tips, and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand.
It's about that time again when parents start thinking about the next phase of their children's education. That involves finding the right school to nurture our littlest learners' talents. Get some information on this process.
I'm a circle, circle, I wanna be a square. I wanna be
Are you the parent of a soon-to-be 3 or 4-year-old? If it's not already, this will become your reality in a couple of months. You've begun to prepare mentally and financially, and you've probably started the process of selecting a school for your child. Now, as you help your child get ready for this next phase of life, here are some tips on what you need to know about the school registration process.
A is for apple, apple. B is for bull, bull.
Having decided on the school of your choice, you need to find out when they're having the registration, because you want to be on time, you don't want to miss out on the school of your choice.
Generally, registration for preschool or basic school begins anywhere between January and May each year.
Fish G is for gorilla. Gorilla.
You get your application letter. Attached to the application form will be a cover letter stating when we'll have orientation, when there are meeting, when it's registration. So you follow that. It also states categorically that if you miss one of these meetings, then you automatically give up your space because one leads to the other.
Having been told when the registration will be, you go to the school. They will give you the information that you need for registration. Usually you need birth certificate, immunization, and 2 photographs of the child, passport size photograph. There will be a registration fee, and you will be told when is their orientation.
Q is for question, question. R is for ring.
During the parents' orientation, we will have more documents for you to fill out. There's a medical that's required by the Early Childhood Commission that parents have to answer questions about, like medical history. You'll get your bank voucher. You'll get samples of the uniform, the patterns, and so on.
If, for example, we're taking a child who is a 4-year-old who is coming from another school, then that child would need to take a transfer letter, which we would have given to the parent in May when they come to take out and return.
A is for yellow, yellow. Z is for zoo.
That's the time you take your child in, you get a feel of the school, you ask the relevant questions and stuff like that.
The orientation for the students, now that's sometimes done in a summer program or in some schools just prior to the reopening of school in September. They will have an orientation day for the new students. But basically we find that having a orientation during the summer where they'll have more time, they will meet and interface with the teacher they'll have. They'll get accustomed to the classroom that they'll be in, bathrooms and so on. They are much more prepared.
I'm a circle, circle. I want to be a square. I want to be a triangle.
And that preparation begins at home. Help make the transition as smooth as possible. Moving from home or daycare to school is a big step. So start talking to your child about going to school. Make the conversation fun. Play dress up. Put on the school bag. Use a coloring book. Whatever it takes to get your child ready for this next great adventure.
Wherever you are, I'm a star, I'm a diamond, I'm an oval, I'm a
Be an active participant in your child's life. Spend time with your child. No phones, no television, no distractions. Just the two of you. Get to know your child through play. Why not go to the park and get on the monkey bars? Sharing a meal can also be a time of bonding. If your child's in school, be involved in school activities. Speak with your child's teacher. Follow up on their progress in school and see how you can help. Assist them with homework. Attend parent-teacher meetings and support school fundraising events. Remember, your child's future is in your hands. Safeguard it.
So glad you are a child of mine.
And that's it for today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Be sure to join us round about the same time tomorrow on this station. We value your feedback, so continue to send your emails to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. You may also want to keep up to date with all the positive happenings in Jamaica land we love. Visit our website, jis.gov.jm. Follow us on Twitter and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube pages. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Thank you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.